Welcome, one and all, to the October 2015 Gaming PC Builds of the Month. I do these builds of the month every single month to give you an updated few builds so that you stay on top of the latest and greatest gaming hardware, just in case you're building a build this month, and so that you're confident in what you're purchasing and knowing that it's the up-to-date and the latest and greatest. My name is Corey with noobcomputerbuild.com. And the three builds that we do here monthly is a $600 and $1,000 and the $1,500 builds. And then there's also alternative hardware that I suggest in between the builds, just in case you have a little extra to spend with your build or want some upgrades for the future. Also, you can visit the website and you can read more into the builds and leave a comment if you want to get into a discussion or have any questions. Feel free to do so. Otherwise, leave a comment on the video. As well, all the hardware for each of the builds is linked in the description below. So if you just want to go straight to the hardware, and get going with it, then by all means do that. But to no avail, let's get started with the $1,500 gaming PC build of the month for October 2015. For the $1,500 build, now for the second month, and now at an even more, now you're even more able to purchase the processor since it's widely available now, since the Skylake processors came out a month widely available, or not widely available, but they got released about a month ago, and were a little short in supply. But the processor here is the Intel Core i5-6600K for $270 here. This processor, unlike the previous generation, does not come with a stock cooler, so you need to include a separate cooler, which is great anyways, since this is an unlocked processor and very easy to overclock, and especially so with the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo CPU cooler for $30.74. For the motherboard this month, I did switch it up. This motherboard has gotten great reviews lately and is a perfect fit for the $1,500 gaming PC build. So the Gigabyte Intel Z170 board here. So the Z170X Gaming 3 board specifically is the board chosen for this month. And this does support SLI and Crossfire in the works and has USB 3.1 and all the goodies that come with the new processor generation here. And so for the graphics card, we have it is the top, probably most of top, more affordable single graphics card that gives you the best performance without, spending over $1,000 for one graphics card. Here we have the PNY GeForce GTX 980 Ti graphics card, $649.99, great price, went down a little bit this month. And this is for those who want to game no problem 1080, no problem 1440, and those that even want to game into 4K, no problem at all too. So then you can do it all with a single graphics card. And for the RAM, we have a whopping 16 gigabyte kit of DDR4, which we can now purchase instead of the previous DDR3. This kit is a Kingston HyperX Fury Black 2 gigabyte sticks for $99.99, which is extremely cheap for DDR4 as it's going down in price. The hard drive, we have no HDD included for cost reasons, obviously, but also I think, if you go just with an SSD, it's usually enough, and SSDs are definitely more worth it, in my opinion. But if you do want the extra space, you can just go with a 1 terabyte drive, for example, and you will spend less, but it won't be as quick. So here we have the Samsung 850 EVO 250 gigabyte drive for $95.37. Power supply, we have an EVGA Supernova 750 watt power supply here. It's the G2 model, $116.50. It's great, very efficient power supply, and I highly recommend it. And the computer case we have for the $1,500 build is the NZXT S340, $69.99. Here you see I like the clean white minimalistic one. They're both there's also a black one, both minimalist, but I just like the sleek look of the white case, but that's my opinion. So you can also purchase the black one. One thing about this case is that it does not support an optical drive. It does not have space for one. So if you do want a DVD or CD drive, do go with another case. But you can also purchase one for about $18 and just connect it to the system if you want to install your OS or anything you actually have that needs to be installed through a DVD. That way, otherwise, just use a USB stick or a external hard drive or what have you, and you should be fine going that way. Now, with moving on to the alternatives for the $1,500 build. Included in the build was an i5, but here you see an Intel Core i7 6700K, which is the new Skylake i7 unlocked processor. It's about $409, but this is for those that do more than gaming. It's not really a worthy upgrade for most gamers. It will not give you greater push by all means, but you do more than gaming. You do video work, graphics work, etc. You use your PC for work, maybe, then this might be a worthy upgrade. Also, for future consideration, if you want more graphics power, you can SLI your graphics card with, say, another PNY GeForce GTX 980 Ti, but it will cost you another $649.99. And also, it'll cost you a little more, and if you do plan on doing this in the future, I do suggest a minimum 850 watt power supply, which you can also get an 850 watt of the one included above, the 750 watt EVGA G2. So look into that if you are considering SLI in the future. Also, if you do need more hard drive space, like I said, there's only an SSD in this build, so you can go with the 2 terabyte Seagate Barracuda hard drive that you see here, $73.57, or just go with a bigger, faster SSD, such as this 1 terabyte SanDisk Extreme Pro, but it will cost you $419.99, which is quite pricey just for a drive. But if that's the way you want to go, then by all means. Now moving on to the $1,000 build. In the $1,000 build for October 2015, we have the same processor, the Intel Core i5-6600K for $270, and to pair with that, a cooler, since there is not a stock cooler included, and it helps extremely when overclocking. The Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo for $30.74. The motherboard we have is the Asus K, the Z170K, $138.49. And then now for graphics cards, there's 2 included here. Not that you're supposed to purchase 2, but it's up to you to choose between the 2. They're similarly priced. The GTX 970 did go down a little this month, $319.99. Here we have the EVGA GTX 970 SSC ACX, and then the alternative card is the MSI R9 390 gaming graphics card. This build does not support SLI with this motherboard, so if you do want to go with 2 graphics cards in the future, don't go with the GTX 970, but it does support Crossfire. So if you did go with the MSI R9 390, you have the potential to add another one later, so there's one plus there. Also, at 1080p, if you look at the benchmarks, the cards are pretty much exactly the same. If you go a little higher, the extra memory in the R9 390, will benefit a little more, but it's also on a per game basis. So if you're debating on the 2 cards, my suggestion is to go look up benchmarks for games that you play the most, and then go with that card that performs a little better. Either way, you'll probably be good though. RAM, we have 8GB kit of DDR4 Crucial Ballistic Sport, $55.68. Hard drive, unlike the $1,500 build, this build includes just a Seagate 1 terabyte hard drive, HDD, $50.49. But if you want to go with an SSD, spend a little more and you can go with that. Or if you can go with both, you can add a smaller SSD as a boot drive, and then just have the Seagate 1 terabyte drive as your main large storage. For power supply, we have the EVGA Supernova 650 G1 power supply, $80.54. And then the case is a newerish case. It's this Thermaltake Versa N21 with a translucent panel, $55.88. It's kind of a spiffy looking case. If you go look at larger pictures of it, it's a really cool case. And then I do include an optical drive in the $1,000 build because this case does support it, but this I will always leave optional. If you don't need it, save the $18.35. But this LG Electronics one you see here is a cheap one to go with. And now moving on, if you have a little extra to spend, want some upgrade suggestions for the future for the $1,000 build. Like I said, no SSD. You can upgrade to a SanDisk Extreme Pro, really highly rated card, high read and write times, 240 gigabytes, and this will cost you $119.65. If you do go with the R9 390, you can Crossfire in the future for another $329.99. But then again, you should upgrade the power supply to an 850 watt power supply, such as the one linked here, the EVGA Supernova 850 G2, $120.03. So if you are planning on that, do just get a bigger power supply right now, and then you'll be good for the future. Want more hard drive space? Double the 1 terabyte drive and get a 2 terabyte one for only $73.57. And for cooling, instead of getting the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo air cooler that I do include in the build above, you could go with a liquid cooler such as this Corsair Hydro Series H100i, and this is $109.99. And finally, we have the $600 build. This build has not changed one bit, hardly one bit. A little bit, but not too much. The graphics card did change, so keep in mind, keep a lookout for that. But anyways, the processor, AMD FX 8320, 8-core processor, unlocked, easily overclockable, $139.99. The motherboard, we have the Asus M5897 motherboard, $93.99. Keep in mind, this is not the LE version. Graphics card, EVGA GeForce GTX 950 card, $159.99. 8 gigabytes of RAM. This is DDR3 RAM, Crucial Ballistic Sport, $38.99. A 1 terabyte Seagate hard drive, $50.49. 600 watt power supply, EVGA, one that you see here, 600B1, $62.99. Then finally, we have the computer case. This is comes in many different colors. I just chose the black one here. It's a good affordable case, Bitphoenix, one that you see here, and it's $48.99. And then the optical drive, same as the other one, the LG Electronics optical drive, $18.35. This comes out to about $609 right now. And so for some alternatives for the $600 build, I do suggest adding another cooler. It does come with a stock cooler, mind you, but if you do want to get overclock it as much as possible, you can go with a Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo, $30.74. Better graphics card for more, better performance, sorry. Sapphire Radeon R9 380 is a good one for $109.99. Also, the MSI R9 380 is good too. And then for a hard drive, double it up like I put in the $1,000 build. Seagate 2 terabyte. It doesn't cost too much for 2 terabytes of space, $73.57. Likewise, I do suggest adding an SSD. It does make a world of a difference, but this is an affordable 850 Evo 250 gigabyte for $89. So keep in mind that. And that does it for October 2015. I do these every month, so keep a lookout for that. Subscribe, like the video, share the video by all means. Or come to the website, subscribe there, leave a comment there, start a conversation. Like I said, all the hardware is linked in the description on the website as well. I do have an article on gaming PC peripherals such as the mice, monitors, keyboards, and operating systems that you can get for your gaming PC build, since these are not included in these builds. But until next month, thank you, and I look forward to seeing you again.